Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. And for this video, pag-uusapan natin ngayon kung ano ba ang difference ng scalar at saka ng vector quantities. So these are the physical quantities na meron sa physics concepts. Mahalaga ito lalo sa mga beginning and intermediate physics concept. So tara, halina't matuto. Okay, so physical quantity first, no? I-define muna natin what is or are physical quantities. So physical quantities are any numbers that can be used to describe a physical phenomenon quantitatively. So ibig sabihin lahat ng mga nakikita nating measurements, no, that can be described numerically with value, with magnitude. Kasi 'di ba ang mga bagay-bagay pwede nating ma-describe yan qualitatively. For example, in terms of texture, the roughness, the smoothness, gaano ka-rough, gaano ka-smooth. Is the object ba is hard or soft? O kaya naman, if the object is tall or short. That's how we describe, diba, objects qualitatively. Pero pag binigyan na natin ito ng number, no, let us say, yung sukat niya, the length is 10 meters. Quantitatively na natin siyang dinedescribe. Okay, so lahat ng mga bagay na pwedeng ma-measure at pwedeng ma-describe numerically, ito yung physical quantities. Now, physical quantities can be described or can be categorized into two. So we have the scalar quantity and the vector quantities. Now, scalar quantities, these are physical quantities that has only magnitude. Okay, so meaning wala itong direction. Nababanggit lang natin siya by number. Okay, magnitude lang. So katulad na lang dito sa mga scenarios natin dito. We are describing the mass of the gold bar being 1 kilogram. So the specific physical quantity here is the mass, okay? And we describe the mass of the gold bar being 1 kilogram. With the 1 kilogram here, the magnitude, yung value. Okay? Ganon din dito sa length of the car. So the length is the physical quantity and then we describe the length of the car being 4.5 meters. So may magnitude. Okay? May magnitude. So yan, ito yung basic description, scalar quantity. However, we also have vector quantity. So, vector quantity naman is just the opposite of scalar. Diba sa scalar, meron lamang tayong magnitude pero wala tayong direction. Dito sa vector quantity, meron tayong both magnitude at direction. For example, in this case, the car moves at a velocity of 40 kilometers per hour west. So we are not simply describing the motion of the object being at 40 kilometers per hour, but also saan papunta yung kotse na ito o yung motion ng isang object. So in this case, the object is moving pa west at a motion of 40 kilometers per hour. And since may direction tayo nabanggit, this quantity now is a velocity. So additional reminder lang, may mga cases din kasi na ang isang quantity, porket hindi nabanggit yung direction, scalar quantity na agad siyang naiko-consider, which is not. Okay? So not all cases, direction was not mentioned, scalar quantity na agad siya, no. So yan, may mga vector quantities na hindi na talaga binabanggit yung direction, but because it is in nature of this quantity na vector talaga siyang maituturing. Well, we have here the scalar and vector quantity example. So yung speed, mass, time, and temperature, and then the distance being a scalar quantity. So sa vector quantity examples naman, velocity, weight, acceleration, displacement, and force. Okay, again, uulitin ko. May mga cases na ang vector quantity hindi nababanggit ang direction. Okay, and it doesn't mean na ang isang quantity hindi nabanggit ang direction ay scalar quantity na siya agad maituturing. So we have to familiarize ourselves with the list of measurements or quantities that are considered as vector. Okay, so sige, let us have an example or several examples is a scalar quantity or a vector quantity. So yung quantities na nabanggit dito, kaklasify natin kung scalar nga ba siya or vector. So for example, the distance between the Earth, and then the Sun is 149.6 million kilometers. So, scalar ba? O sige, alamin muna natin, ano ba yung quantity na nabanggit dito? So, yung nabanggit dito ay distance. And based from the previous slide, ano ba ang distance? Is it a scalar quantity or a vector quantity? So, ang quantity na distance is scalar. So, this scenario now, itong number 1 ngayon, is a scalar or describes a scalar quantity. Next, number 2, a car moving at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So, yung quantity na nabanggit sa number 2 ay ito, speed. And because of that, ito ngayon ay scalar quantity. Pero ito na yung tinutukoy ko, yung number 3. The car moving with the velocity of 40 kilometers per hour. So, ito sa number 3, baka isipin nyo, scalar quantity siya kasi hindi nabanggit yung direction. But with our quantity mentioned being the velocity, and velocity is naturally a vector quantity, therefore, this is a vector quantity. Okay? So, ayan. Hindi yan lagi na ang isang scenario o isang quantity na hindi nabanggit yung direction, scalar na siya. Dahil, in many cases, a vector quantity can also be mentioned or can also be described without mentioning the distance. Because naturally, yung quantity naman na nabanggit, in this case, velocity, okay, is a vector. Next, number 4, the average room temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. So, dito, ang quantity na nabanggit is temperature. Therefore, ito ay scalar quantity. And lastly, number 5, the acceleration due to gravity on Moon is 1/6 of that on Earth. So, ang nabanggit na quantity dito is, the physical quantity is acceleration, and acceleration is a vector quantity. Okay, so vector si acceleration kasi talagang may direction siya. Velocity is actually, if you are familiar somehow na with the physics of acceleration, is the derivative of velocity. So with velocity already being a a vector quantity, and since derivative na acceleration is a velocity, therefore acceleration is also a vector quantity. May direction. Okay, so although hindi nababanggit yung mga directions madalas sa acceleration sa mga problems natin, pero acceleration is in fact a vector quantity. Okay, so ayan, so hopefully you learned something from the concepts of scalars and vectors. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel para maging updated sa lahat pa ng mga postings natin about physics and mathematics and in other concepts na meron sa science and math. So thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Goodbye.